Hello and welcome to our Global Channel Chief interview series for the Canalys Channels Forum. I'm delighted to be joined by Pascal Bourguet, who is the Global Channel Chief for Lenovo. Pascal, great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. Now, congratulations on your new role. Can you tell us a bit about the new organizational structure for Lenovo and what it means for customers?
Well, at Lenovo, we've been evolving constantly the way that we are doing business. And we are transforming our best-in-class sales teams to be more responsive, connected, and more transparent. At the beginning of the fiscal year, we have organized our company into three global business groups. One which is called ISG, Infrastructure and Solution Group. The other one which is called IDG, Intelligent Device Group. And the third one which is called SLG, newly created, Service and Solution Group. And this to become an even more customer-centric global organization. On the go-to-market side, we have integrated our geo models into two parts. First one comprising China, and the second one, which we call ISO, International Sales Organization, led by Matt Zelinsky, which is made of North America, EMEA, Latin America, and APJ. And the goal there is to support the three business groups and to build an even stronger winning sales culture in order to better serve our customers and partners. And at the birth of this organization, very quickly, we figured out that it was the right thing to do to create a global channel organization, which I'm very excited to lead. And with the geo teams, with the market teams, with the IT and global ops team, we're working together. We are federated behind one project, which is called Lenovo 360, which is the name of our global channel framework.
Okay, great. Well, a lot to unpack there, and we'll go into a bit more detail. But before I get into that, obviously the pandemic has changed working life for all of us. Can you talk a bit about what your working life looks like now? How you're operating? Are you meeting customers? Are you meeting partners again?
Well, as a global company, the situation is different region by region, and we're leaving it to the local authorities and protocols to decide on the return to the office and travel policy. That said, I don't think that the world is ever going to get back to normal, as we have been benefiting from general technology in having a more efficient way to connect and engage with each others and also be more efficient in our work. So I am excited to see that in some of the cases, like today, we got some people traveling back again and going back to the office, and it feels good, certainly, to see our customers and partners again, and obviously to see our colleagues again.
Yeah, and of course it's great for us to be doing this face to face as well, which
Absolutely.
we weren't doing last year. So, of course, technology has benefited a lot from the pandemic as well. I mean, the industry is doing very well, and Lenovo has seen exceptionally strong growth. And you were number one in devices. Can you talk a bit about the results for Lenovo by category? What's happened? What's been driving your growth?
We have observed very strong growth across all businesses and across all regions. Maybe where the growth is the strongest is on the SMB side, also on the mid-market side, and on the public sector side. When it comes to the product groups, we've seen growth in the infrastructure group, growth into the endpoint PC group, and we've seen very strong hypergrowth on the service side as well. When it comes to the geographical theaters, we kept number one position in EMEA on the PC side for the second time in a row, 25.6% market share. On the infrastructure side, we've been acquiring in EMEA more than 2,000 net new customers and having a triple-digit growth year to year in the last fiscal year results. In Latin America, we have held our number two position on the mobile phone business, shrinking our gap with the number one to the smallest gap ever at 20% market share, about 20% market share. Likewise, we've been having tremendous growth on the PC side, close to 85% growth year to year in Latin America. We are number one there in consumer, and we are number one in Brazil in a lot of the customer segments. In APJ, we have the number one PC position, and there we've got the highest from all the geos, Microsoft cloud service provider business. And on the service side and solution side, we've been having tremendous growth in APJ as well. And in North America, where I used to operate, we had the strongest than any other vendor growth on the PC side, on the Android side and the OEM side. We kept number one position in Canada for the second time in a row, and we had also historic results on the infrastructure and service side. So very strong results across the board.
Well, what are you seeing from the infrastructure side? That's smaller business for Lenovo. Are you seeing a recovery in infrastructure projects in on-premises investments?
We've been seeing significant growth, significantly, particularly in the last 6 to 9 months on the infrastructure side. The growth has picked up pretty much at the same time as the PC growth has picked back up. So I would say close to a year ago. But it probably picked up slightly later on the infrastructure side. We particularly see some significant growth on some big infrastructure project, but also on the SMB side, where we are seeing some solution and service business picking back up and driving new business opportunities for Lenovo.
So how important is the channel to your strategy and your success then, Pascal?
So let me be very straight. We've got a unique position on the market. We are the channel first IT generalist vendor with such a great legacy of trust with the channel partner, with a portfolio from the pocket to the cloud, fueled by innovation, supported by the highest standards of quality and design, and driving the best customer experience. So we are channel first in our blood.
And will partners have the same experience in whether they're selling client devices or infrastructure?
I think that's the case. From everything that we've been hearing from our partners and customers, and also from some of the data that we've got internally, we can claim loud and clear that we are a channel first company.
Are you starting to see that already? Because obviously, partners may have a preferred brand on the server side or on the PC side. So how to what extent are partners kind of embracing that idea of selling across the portfolio? Are there any particular examples you can point to?
Yeah, at the beginning of the fiscal year, we have appointed small teams, which we call the Tiger teams, coming from different backgrounds, from the infrastructure side or from the PC side onto the service side. And these Tiger teams have been set targets which were made to overdrive on their regular target. And that has enabled those teams to connect with each other, getting to doing more, define these initiatives, which have defined the foundations of what is Lenovo 360 today as a global channel framework, and has already driven some very significant progress, particularly on the mid-market and on the channel side. So we have started now on the real transformation, a key milestone which is happening as early and has already begun in the last couple of days, has started on October 1st, is the transformation that we are doing on our team, as we are bringing together under one single channel leader in roughly 14 markets in the world, the entire portfolio and the entire channel team. And this one channel leader is going to lead in those 14 markets the Lenovo teams that would be the face to the channel partners. So this is bringing to the partners an easy way to engage with the Lenovo teams across the entire portfolio. And for us, it's an opportunity to expand the business of our partners to the full breadth of the portfolio. But it's not a specialist model. Let's make no mistake. It's a model which is making it easy for the partners to engage and connect with Lenovo. But it's a model where we recognize and value the importance of the specialized sales and the specificities that are required to sell on the data center side, to sell on the solution side, or to sell on the service side versus selling on the PC side. It's obviously a very different selling motion, and the technical capabilities which are required are different.
And can you talk about the program? Because obviously you've unified the program now. What will that look like, and what can partners expect?
So the Lenovo 360 channel framework is actually around three pillars. People, which I've just talked about, programs, and tools. On the program side, we are announcing today, actually with you, the key changes that are going to happen specifically related to the program, which is the Lenovo 360 program. Let me start by saying that the way that we've been thinking through Lenovo 360 is particularly made not to disrupt our channel partners' business. All the partners that used to enjoy the program they had are going to carry on enjoying their programs. All the partners that are happy to carry on doing that way used to do on the PC side or infrastructure side, they'll be able to do so, and there will be no disruption to their business, except that it will be happening under the Lenovo 360 umbrella. But it's meant not to disrupt any of our partner business. However, for those partners who want to embark with us on this service and solution-led transformation journey, there are opportunities, and there are opportunities to expand their portfolio. There are opportunities to drive business and drive new earnings. And for that, we are bringing three new things on the program side. So let me start by the first one, Better Together. The Better Together program is made to have our partners overachieving on their business targets and driving hypergrowth, specifically on the infrastructure and solution side. The second is pillar is solutions. We're bringing this new set of solutions that will be announced at the Gartner Symposium on November 8th. And this set of solutions has been thought through for, and I would say by the channel, in the sense that we've been involving our channel partners in the thinking process of the go-to-market and the conception of those solutions. And the solutions are made to be easy to sell, intuitive, scalable, from the pocket to the cloud, and very easy to sell. They are defined on business outcomes, and they will be customizable by vertical. So we have absolutely in mind the necessity to have some vertical relevance with our solutions. And the partners will be able to sell those solutions and make earnings, make business, and through a solution rate card and a TrueScale accelerator, that will be the opportunity to drive earnings through this business opportunity. The third pillar is the ESG portfolio that we are bringing to market. Again, we've been thinking this ESG portfolio, a sustainable set of offerings with the channel in mind and for the channel. And they will be available in the top 8 markets starting January, starting with our asset return service and our CO2 offset offerings. So on the asset return service, we'll be able to propose to the channel a journey where there will be building blocks over time, where we involve them in the way that we are delivering the program. And on the CO2 offset offering, as Lenovo is working a path through net zero carbon emission, we'll also propose to the channel partners to manage their indirect emission with a CO2 offset offering that will be beneficial for their customers and also for their business.
Great. Well, that sounds very powerful. And obviously the theme of our event is Thrive. So that very much fits with what we're talking about at the Canalys forums. So one thing you mentioned was TrueScale. Lenovo has announced an everything as a service strategy under the TrueScale brand. That's a bit of an evolution from the past. Can you talk about how you see as a service models developing and what kind of adoption you see?
Sure. TrueScale is the name of the umbrella brand for everything as a service in Lenovo. It's a very important framework for us as our portfolio is operating from PC to endpoint to services, and also as solutions. So TrueScale is the name of as a service for infrastructure as a service, solution as a service, software as a service, and device as a service. And this will bring flexibility for our customers from CapEx to OpEx. But this also will bring some new consumption models, which is very interesting for us to explore. TrueScale is a journey. Today, we've got some building blocks to make it relevant and actionable for the channel partners, like we've got for device as a service in EMEA, which is available in a lot of the European countries. We are thinking of expanding this building block, device as a service in North America. And as we are expanding the different offerings that we've got on as a service, infrastructure, solutions, we'll be working hard to integrate those offerings and the building blocks to give the possibilities for the partners to price and configure through our tools. So it's a journey on which we are embarking. And I can tell you that as we speak, our IT teams are working really hard to make it easy to sell and easy to configure for the channel partners.
And that will be a key thing, won't it? To make sure it's enabled and optimized for the partners, because this is all about, allowing them to deliver it to market. How do you make sure that happens?
Well, it's something that we need to work out. As a channel-first company, we need to work with our partners to define those service delivery model, which we have to work on together so that we can enable the channel and us to partner and drive business for as a service in a model which is benefiting to both parties. So that's something that we have to work out in the coming months.
Okay, great. Now, there's one topic that is on top of mind of everybody in the industry at the moment is supply. Our industry has been hamstrung by supply problems. Can you talk about what the situation is now for Lenovo, what partners can expect going into the end of the year and into 2022? And do you see growth continuing at the level it is currently?
All right, lot of questions. So let's start by supply. The semiconductor supply challenges is obviously an industry challenge, and we see this continuing throughout 2022. That said, the results that we had in the last few quarters from market share standpoint are making the point that we have been able to make very well despite those challenges. And here, our size, our scale, our strong supply and partner relationship are enable us to ship very quickly as soon as parts arrive. What is working well there is our ability to scale. We've got a vast network of suppliers and partners that enabling us to maximize available supply and ship very quickly. On the supply chain part, we've been awarded by Gartner in the global top 25 supply chain list to the rank number 16, which is a big credit to the way that our supply chain is operating. Now, looking ahead, I'm very confident that we'll continue to maneuver through the complexity of this supply chain with the leadership of Jamin Tu as our group COO. The way that we've been managing the supply shortages between our Lenovo team and supply chain is leaving us very confident that this will continue and we'll be able to hopefully carry on being number one PC vendor in the world and also manage some of the shortages that we got on the infrastructure side.
Okay, great.
So now to your last question, which is, do you think it's going to stay and is there growth in the industry? Yes, we really believe that we are ahead of tremendous momentum of growth in the coming quarters, specifically on the commercial side. We started to see some slowdown of the growth and some decline in some areas of the world on the retail side because we're starting to annualize numbers which are very high. Also, although it's growth versus the previous year, it's still declined versus last year. But on the commercial side, we've got no signs of a slowdown in growth whatsoever. It's just the opposite. We're finishing the quarter with a backlog which is very strong, whether it is on the endpoint or whether it's on the infrastructure side. We see no slowdown in demand on the commercial side.
Okay, great. That's very positive. Let's hope it continues. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Pascal, for talking to us.
Well, thanks for having me, and looking forward to the rest of the days together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bueno, es genial poder dar la bienvenida a Lenovo al Canalys Forum Latinoamérica. Aquí estoy junto a Pablo, Garcia, Serrano, Juan, Manuel, Romero y Augusto, Rosa. Bienvenidos.
Gracias, Rita. Muchas gracias por tenernos.
Bien. Hemos escuchado recién a Pascal hablar muy bien de la región, qué orgullo, y el desempeño de smartphones, de PCs. Así que felicitaciones a todo el equipo de Lenovo en Latinoamérica. Excelente performance.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Ahora, el tema de este año del evento es Thrive, prosperar. ¿Me cuentan un poco cómo se ha desarrollado el 2021 hasta ahora? ¿Han podido volver a las oficinas físicas? ¿Han podido viajar? ¿Han podido ver clientes? ¿Han podido ver a los canales? A ver si empezamos con Pablo.
Con mucho gusto. Bueno, este ha sido un año, como lo dijiste, muy interesante para nosotros, con crecimientos que se han dado de manera exponencial. Dentro de todo, con lo difícil y doloroso que ha sido este año, el estar en una empresa de tecnología ha provocado que tengamos muy buenas noticias, ¿no? El mercado fue evolucionando, todo el mundo tuvo que adaptarse, los canales incluidos. En cuanto a tu consulta en particular, la realidad es que esto se ha dado de forma, yo cubro como 20 países en toda la región, y se ha dado de forma diversa según cada uno de ellos, ¿no? Tenemos países como México, donde en general no se ha cerrado tanto, y en el otro extremo probablemente Argentina tuvo una cuarentena muy estricta durante mucho tiempo, ¿no? Entonces empezamos a ver que nuevamente se empiezan a generar reuniones con canales face to face, afortunadamente, en algunos países como México, como Chile, algo en Colombia. En Argentina esto tanto no se está dando por ahora, pero yo creo que paulatinamente los números en general de vacunas van subiendo, y en ese sentido creo que próximamente vamos a poder volver a hacer estos encuentros cara a cara. Entre tanto, por suerte la tecnología nos ha ayudado muchísimo para mantener el contacto con nuestros canales y sentirlo cerca, aun cuando no hayamos podido tener un contacto cara a cara con ellos, y esperamos poder hacerlo rápidamente, ¿no? Y próximamente.
Exacto, que es tan importante en la región, conocerse y ir a tomar un café juntos vale mucho.
Hace una diferencia enorme, sobre todo en Latinoamérica, donde el contacto persona a persona es tan importante.
Exacto. Juan Manuel, ¿qué me puedes contar tú?
No es muy diferente al caso de Pablo. El mundo de los negocios continúa, la gente necesita seguir desarrollando sus actividades, y la época por la que venimos atravesando, y algunos países todavía se mantienen con algunas complicaciones, pues ha obligado a que nuestros socios y nosotros apoyándolos se reinventen. Y ha sido muy motivador ver, por ejemplo, que modelos de negocio como TrueScale son ahora de las opciones más que los clientes consideran de manera más seria. El crecimiento, por ejemplo, de TrueScale, 8 de cada 9 negocios de TrueScale son llevados a través de, son traídos por los canales. Soluciones para mejorar la colaboración, la productividad, pues ahora son más importantes incluso que antes. Es cierto lo que decía Pablo, necesitábamos como latinoamericanos siempre el contacto humano, y fue una prueba, digamos, de fuego estos meses, y sin embargo hemos salido a flote. Los partners han aprovechado incluso las situaciones, se han preparado. Nuestros, por ejemplo, programas de certificación hoy en día tienen números récords en cuanto a equipos de personas certificadas. Somos, hay que decirlo, quizás no sé si lo comentó Pascal, pero somos la segunda región del mundo, digamos, el Lenovo en temas de certificación del socio. Eso explica lo comprometido que están nuestros socios y nosotros con ellos.
Fantástico, y las certificaciones han crecido a raíz de la pandemia. Los partners han encontrado el tiempo para hacerlo.
Así es. Están conscientes que prepararse es importante, que las nuevas tecnologías traen siempre, digamos, nueva manera de aprovechar las oportunidades, Y el caso que te comentaba, tú Scale, por ejemplo, modelos como de servicio, negocios, por ejemplo, alrededor de BDI, colaboración, se hacen más importantes en un momento donde el aislamiento pues se ha hecho presente, pero nos mantenemos gracias a la tecnología juntos.
Fantástico, Sandy.
E Augusto, então, como é que está a situação no Brasil? Como é que a pandemia afetou do jeito que as pessoas estão comprando? Porque eu não me imagino num país tão grande que as pessoas não estão querendo fechar um negócio tomando um cafezinho ou comendo alguma coisa junto.
É verdade. No começo da pandemia foi bem desafiador para todos nós, principalmente para pequenas e médias empresas, onde fecharam-se as portas e a gente não tinha o contato, né, dos clientes pelo telefone celular deles, né? E aí até eles recuperarem toda a infraestrutura para poder começar a fazer negócio de casa, demorou um tempo. Do lado da Lenovo, nós ficamos todos em casa desde março do ano passado, e junto com os canais, a todo momento, o contato direto, e aumentaram muito as reuniões, as interações, as revisões trimestrais, né, os QBRs, e trouxe uma proximidade muito grande. A Lenovo sempre foi uma empresa de escritório, e a pandemia nos trouxe uma forma diferente de trabalhar, e a gente viu que deu certo também, né? Então, por uma questão geográfica, onde você tem que pegar um avião, um carro, para chegar no escritório de um parceiro, hoje a gente faz isso em segundos e a gente conversa com todo mundo. Então, triplicaram as reuniões, triplicaram os acessos, as comunicações estão muito mais rápidas, e a todo momento a gente perguntando para os canais em que momento vocês vão voltar, como vocês vão voltar, porque a gente precisa se adequar ao nosso ecossistema, né? E assim tem acontecido, e a gente tem conseguido fazer bons negócios, né, respeitando toda a questão de saúde, né?
Fantástico. Ahora, en el último año han habido muchos cambios en Lenovo. ¿Me pueden contar un poco cómo la nueva estructura de la organización en la compañía ha impactado a la región latinoamericana? Y en especial, si me pueden contar cómo se ha recibido hasta ahora el mensaje de Lenovo 360.
En general, Rita, esto implica un cambio muy grande en cuanto a nuestra manera de acercarnos a nuestros canales, ¿no? Nuestros canales son nuestro principal vehículo para llegar a los clientes, y en Lenovo creíamos que era oportuno reorganizar un poco la forma en la que nos acercamos a ellos, ¿no? Por eso es que las distintas áreas como IT, operaciones, marketing, ventas, todos nos enfocamos detrás de un objetivo común, que es poder armar una mejor forma de hacer negocios con nuestros canales, de manera más simple, de manera integrada con ellos, ¿no? Y ahí es donde empezamos a trabajar junto a los equipos worldwide en ir armando programas nuevos, herramientas nuevas, mejorar las plataformas. ¿Se acuerdan que el año pasado hablábamos del lanzamiento de Lenovo Partner Hub? Lenovo Partner Hub ha crecido muchísimo, los canales lo usan cada vez más, y les está dando muchísima autonomía. Imagínense lo importante que eso es en un contexto donde muchos de nosotros estuvimos encerrados en nuestras casas durante mucho tiempo. Estas plataformas les permitieron a los canales poder seguir haciendo negocios con nosotros de manera ágil y simple, ¿no? Y bueno, en Lenovo 360 próximamente vamos a estar generando impactos concretos, ¿no? Vamos a estar lanzando formalmente este nuevo enfoque en un par de meses, pero ya estamos trabajando en nuevos programas, estamos retrabajando lo que es el Better Together, un programa que Juan Manuel ya tenía lanzado para los canales de ISP, y que queremos relanzar también para todos los canales de Lenovo, así que próximamente van a tener muchas novedades nuestros canales con relación a eso.
Fantástico. Y quiero hacerles una pregunta que quizá es un poco inusual, pero ¿hay algún caso en particular donde puedan mencionar y nos puedan dar un ejemplo, ya sea de país o un partner en particular, que haya ido más allá para poder apoyar a sus clientes este año? Algo que que la audiencia pueda aprender como un caso de las cosas que se deben hacer durante la pandemia? ¿Quién es valiente y tome la respuesta? A ver, Juan Manuel.
Sería injusto hablar de un partner en particular porque inmediatamente van a llegar el resto del ecosistema y nos van a reclamar, ¿no? Entonces no voy a ser valiente en ese sentido para no exponerme ante mis partners y que no se identifique si hay un partner más privilegiado o más favorecido que el otro. Pero ha sido, digamos, exitoso en todas las áreas. Hemos visto casos en Perú, en Argentina, en Brasil. Han ido más allá, definitivamente. Se han esforzado, saben los partners que estamos en momentos particulares. Y lo bueno del Lenovo 360 es que permite a los socios apalancarse en todo el arsenal de herramientas. Digamos, si alguien tiene desde el arma más reciente, el avión de última tecnología, y después tienes el barco con las capacidades, digamos, de balística, sería un error que no las usaras todas, ¿no? Obviamente la comparativa de guerra no es quizás la que mejor aplica acá, pero estamos viendo un ambiente de muy alta competitividad. Y los partners necesitan todos los argumentos, necesitan todas esas herramientas, necesitan continuamente el conocimiento, ¿no? Son tres elementos importantes, son programas, personas y las herramientas como Lenovo Partner Hub que ya explicaba Pablo. Entonces, todo eso está a la disposición, digamos, de nuestros socios con los mejores productos de la industria que no tenemos hoy en día. Digamos, somos reconocidos como por las altas capacidades y la alta confiabilidad de nuestro ecosistema. Entonces, estamos en mejor posición, digamos, que lo estuvimos hace muchos años, cuando nos podemos apalancar en toda nuestra capacidad. Y el partner lo entiende, el Lenovo 360 lo explica, ¿no? Y los partners están efectivamente muy ansiosos de trabajar con nosotros.
Perfecto. Y desde el punto de vista... Uy, perdón, Pablo. Dime.
No, lo que te iba a agregar es que si bien implica básicamente un montón de cambios en nuestros canales, lo que buscamos es, digamos, apoyar sobre todo a nuestra gente, o los tres pilares fundamentales, como lo decía Pascal, es nuestra gente, nuestros programas y herramientas. En lo que respecta a nuestra gente, ya estamos trabajando internamente para ir preparándonos, para poder adaptarnos a esta nueva forma de hacer negocios e integrarnos todos entre los distintos grupos de negocios para llegar mejor al canal. Ya te mencioné en cuanto a los programas que ya estamos trabajando en uno concreto y vamos a lanzarlo próximamente. Herramientas, vamos a tener un montón incluidas en el portal, lo mencioné, pero digamos, la idea es que no implique esto afectar significativamente el negocio de nuestros canales que no quieran subirse a esta alternativa, ¿no? Esto lo mencionaba Pascal también, es muy importante que nuestros canales entiendan que no es que Lenovo va a modificar la forma en la que hacemos negocios, sino que lo que les vamos a dar es una nueva posibilidad, porque creemos que el contexto va a modificarse y es necesario que estemos listos para poder adaptarnos y enfrentarlos de la mejor manera.
Perfecto.
Hablamos, só para complementar, eu queria decir, hablamos em melhorar a utilização do tempo de las personas e de las inversiones. O sea, mucho más de pronto para todos, o sea, está disponible, ¿no?
Exacto, y desde el punto de vista de Canalys, les podemos decir que el feedback que tenemos de todos los canales es que las herramientas que han lanzado en los últimos años Lenovo han transformado la forma que el canal hace negocios con Lenovo, así que felicitaciones. Vamos a ir a la última pregunta porque nos estamos quedando sin tiempo, pero vamos a empezar con los de habla hispana y después terminamos con Augusto. ¿Cuál creen que son las mayores oportunidades en las que se tiene que fijar o que se tiene que enfocar el canal para los próximos 3 a 6 meses?
Mira, nuestras perspectivas es que el negocio, como viene creciendo, como decía antes, la pandemia ha intensificado el uso de tecnología. Creemos que esto vino para quedarse, creemos que las proyecciones que estamos viendo va a haber un consumo muy, muy grande de tecnología, los ciclos para actualizarla van a pasar más rápido. En Latinoamérica tenemos mucho para crecer en ese aspecto, pasamos sin dudas a trabajar en un contexto híbrido, y si queremos trabajar en un contexto híbrido seguro, muchos van a tener que hacer grandes inversiones en tecnología, ¿no? Entonces, en ese sentido, la capacitación de nuestros canales en todo el portafolio que ofrece Lenovo, estamos trabajando en la creación de partners especializados en distintas verticales, para que todos puedan aprovechar todo el portafolio. Nosotros decimos habitualmente from pocket to cloud, ¿no? Que tiene Lenovo, es muy amplio, y lo fundamental es que detectemos oportunidades de nuestros clientes y busquemos en el portafolio de Lenovo cuál es la mejor manera para resolverlas. No irnos con soluciones estándar, sino tratar de ver de qué manera podemos generar ese valor agregado, y en eso es lo que estamos trabajando con los canales, y por eso, como decía Juan Manuel, es fundamental su capacitación para poder generar ventajas competitivas contra otros que por ahí no lo hagan, y de esa manera poder llegar a ganar mejores oportunidades, ¿no? Creo que la diferencia de nuestros canales va a venir mucho por ese lado en el futuro.
Perfecto, gracias, Pablo. Y a ver, dime, Juan, ¿alguna oportunidad en particular?
Para agregar, de nuevo, lo estamos viendo en los números, lo estamos viendo en los resultados, los modelos basados en as a service han hecho la diferencia. La capacidad consultiva del socio, la preparación va a ser importante. Los clientes ya no quieren un proveedor, simplemente les da la mejor arquitectura al mejor precio. No están buscando las capacidades de entregas, de mantener la operación, la continuidad operativa del negocio, y necesitan socios que estén preparados, que conozcan de lo que están hablando. Y es por eso, y de nuevo, Latinoamérica no se queda atrás, cuando vemos que efectivamente las certificaciones, somos la segunda mejor región del mundo en temas de preparación. El PAN está consciente y está tomando muy bien esta circunstancia, está empujando a que el canal se dé cuenta de dónde está el futuro, ¿no?
Cambiar a português. Bueno, o que eu queria reforçar é que do ano passado para esse ano, a gente cresceu muito, né, com os canais, 134% em VAR ou T1, 124% em integradores, 112% em distribuição e 193% em T2. E como que a gente faz para manter isso, né? Então, esse tem sido o nosso desafio, e a prioridade para 3 e 6 meses, eu diria que o mercado, ele está muito, agora principalmente final do ano, tem uma sazonalidade grande em negócios de governo e educação, né? Então, a gente está com todo o portfólio completo e junto com os canais treinados e habilitados para endereçar esse mercado. Então, fora todas as ferramentas que o Pablo comentou, Lenovo Partner Hub, Lenovo BD Portal, todo o time, todo o tempo e todo o investimento que a gente tem feito com os canais, foquem nesses dois segmentos. Esses dois segmentos têm uma demanda gigantesca pela frente.
Perfecto. Bueno, con eso terminamos. Ha sido un placer, Pablo, Juan Manuel y Augusto. Un placer para mí y para Sandy poder conversar una vez con ustedes. Aquí estamos en el Canalys Forum con todos los partners presentes. Si tienen más que aprender de Lenovo, aquí están todos los ejecutivos presentes para conversar con ustedes y para mantenerse en contacto. Los esperamos a lo largo del evento. Hay mucho más de Lenovo y nos vemos pronto. Hasta luego.
Muchas gracias a ustedes.
Gracias.
Feliz día, hasta luego.
Chao.